Hey guys, how's it going? It's Etanyos here. Welcome to episode number 4 of this NHL 24 Montreal Canadiens franchise mode here on my channel. Today, we are going to be getting into the 2024-25 season simulation. We're going to go all the way up until the trade deadline, and that's where we're going to end off today. I'm going to let you guys kind of get your input in on how the team does, what moves you think we should make. And starting things off for this episode, let's get to the comments. But just before we do that, if you guys enjoyed this one, show your support with a like and subscription. It really helps me out and helps the channel out in general. So, starting things off. The first comment here came from Y'all Are Buggin', saying, as a Montreal fan, I would love to see the team in real life at their overalls. So yeah, looking at this team right now, like this looks like a pretty sexy Montreal team. Like 2 92s and an 88 rated Slafkovsky, like that top line looks scary good. And honestly, like the way Cole Caulfield's playing in real life right now, this doesn't seem unrealistic, honestly. He's been playing absolutely amazing recently. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. The next comment, from Braden Cream said, I think bringing in Pacioretty and Fleury was a great idea. They aren't taking away any spots. Also, I think it's smart that you left Joshua Waugh down in the minors. So yes, that was a move that we made here, as far as just deciding to leave him down there for one more year, let him really turn into a beast down there, and then we can bring him up, plop him right on the second line next year when Pacioretty's done. But yeah, I think that's going to be good. Robert Weber said, love the fact that you were looking at guys from the queue. Flower and Max are solid veteran pieces, as this core is still young and they need those veterans to balance it out. Love that comment. That really makes me feel like I made some good moves. Fresh Bread said, great episode and great draft for sure. Good signings as well. And if needed, we can sell at the deadline in order to get capital to grab Daigle. Keep Gallagher as depth, maybe put Newhook third line and Doc second line center. So that's an interesting one as far as the comment goes there for moving these guys around. I want to keep Newhook on the second line just because he's under $3 million for the next 3 years, and he's 87 rated currently. So if we keep him and Doc together with Pacioretty, I think this line's going to work out just fine still. It is a playmaker, power forward, sniper combination as well, which you don't get very easily in this game anymore. So that's why I'm keeping it like that. Of course, Sean Farrell has 78 faceoffs as well, which is actually better than either of these guys. So that's why I've got him at center there right now. So I think we're going to keep that, but I do appreciate the input and opinion for what we should do with the lines. Next comment came from Drayden Pletz saying, give Pacioretty the A instead of David Savard. I think it would be a better leader for the youth. So that is actually a really insightful comment. I actually totally agree with that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to, hold on to those 2 A's, or the A and the C with Caulfield and Suzuki. But yeah, an A on Pacioretty makes sense. Peaceful said, the team looks so good already. Love the moves you've made, and the idea of getting Daigle is a great one as well. So glad you're doing Montreal franchise as my favorite team, and you're an amazing creator. Hopefully good success this year, and just a bunch of other very positive words. So thank you very much, Peaceful. I do appreciate that comment, and yes, I'm very excited to go and try and get Gabriel Daigle. I think that's kind of the one piece this team's missing still. Like, yes, Fleury's going to be good, but really this team they're not missing a lot. And then the final comment here came from Remy Desharnais saying, I think Askarov to Montreal makes a lot of sense. So that's an interesting one because I never even considered Yaroslav Askarov up until this point. But we can definitely go and just take a look at him. Obviously, he's going to be super expensive, probably more expensive than we can actually go for. Oh, that's why I didn't go goalies. Okay. It'd probably help if I put Yaroslav in the first name instead of the last name. That probably would have helped. So Askarov is going to be right here. He's 84 rated, so yeah, he would be a fairly hefty sign-in. And I don't know if it's realistic for us to pursue that right now. Like, yes, we have some assets we could potentially move in a deal that would get us Askarov, but We have Fleury for this year. I don't really want to move him. We have other elite goalies that we can potentially move later as capital. But yeah, at this current moment in time, there's no trades found for him. They don't really want to trade him, which is understandable. Saros is getting up there in age, so yeah, just I don't think that move's going to happen, unfortunately, but we'll see. Like, I do think Daigle is going to be the starting piece that we really need in net. And then apart from that, like, we've got Calgary's first rounder this year. I've seen Gavin McKenna go to, or sorry, not Gavin McKenna. I have seen Gavin McKenna go to Calgary quite a few times. Not in this game, but in last year's game in NHL 23. So who knows? Calgary might just absolutely tank it this year. We'll see what happens. But regardless, we'll end up utilizing our picks to the max as far as whether we actually end up taking a guy like Michael Misa if we get a top pick, or if we trade down to acquire some more talents, things like that. Like, we'll figure out what we're going to do. Right now, our pick's projecting that we should probably land around Daigle somewhere. But there are other interesting kind of Q prospects in here, guys like Cullimore and Hood. Those guys I'm keeping an eye on, like a very close eye on. And then after that, there's a couple other guys a bit further down here, guys like LeBeau, and who's the other one? There's one other one in here. I think, Ruben Blois. So there's a couple guys in that first kind of like 40 or so that we might try to pick up, but we'll see what happens. So that is it for comments. And really, without further ado, we're going to just start simulating ahead here on the calendar. I've got to hit my scouting dates, so that's what you guys are kind of just going to see off the start here, is me going like midway through preseason kind of thing, but I'm just making sure all of our scouting requirements are hit here. So as far as the budget goes, we'll pump a bunch of money into the arena ops because that's where most of the money goes anyways. Promotions, who cares? The fans are here to watch the Habs, not get the free crap, so... we're getting lots of trade options for guys like Armia and Evans, so maybe we'll look to move them. I mean, we'll see. Holy patches. Patch already just went off in the preseason, 4 goals in 3 games, but we're still losing, so that is all good, and I've got to do more scouting. Also, if you guys haven't watched my scouting tutorial and you play franchise mode all the time, I highly recommend you go and watch that because it'll make scouting easier for you. It'll make it a lot more efficient. You'll get lots of prospects to actually kind of take a look at as far as who you want to draft, who you want to get. Like, you could see last draft we had tons of options on prospects. Alright, so we're ready to simulate ahead and actually get into the regular season now. Most of this episode is going to be me kind of just talking through the sim more so than anything. But I do want to show you guys just how our team ratings kind of fall about and are going to take place because, it kind of helps determine how good or bad our team's going to be from year to year. But starting things off here, game 1 against Washington. Let's just see what are we looking at with this team, because I do think this year we improved. I think we went from last year we had 89 offense, 88 defense, 85 goaltending. We're a little bit better this year, I would say. 97 offense is a huge jump, especially with those top guys really growing quite a bit. But apart from that, we got 86 goaltending, which is an improvement. 90 defense is also an improvement, so it should be a fun year this year. I'm wondering, maybe do we go for like a team like Washington or somebody? Do we try to get another first round pick? I don't think we need to. I don't think that's really necessary, but we'll see where Calgary's pick falls because Calgary is a team I'm extremely intrigued in. So we'll start off the month of November. The month of October, simulate up to November and see how it goes, and then continue on from there and see just what our team's kind of trajectory in here. So, all right, and David Savard's immediately injured. Awesome. So we did turn injuries down. Looks like certain players dropped off a little bit on overall. That does happen at the beginning of the season normally, but really, this team's looking solid, so... Did Fleury get a win in his first game? Oh, he did, but then he lost a couple, so that is all good. And yeah, draft class isn't worth looking at yet. We're gonna just be patient on that. And yeah, we won't even have a full drafting kind of report until we get closer to the end of the season and even like into the off season kind of. So, All right, as we continue on, we're just getting tons of Laval injuries. I don't remember Tyson Barrie being injured, but okay. How are our scorers doing here? 15 and 12 points. Not bad. Is Slav doing well? 10 points in 9 games. Let's go. That's what we want to see out of Slav. That's great. Especially with the $8.75 million contract we slapped on him for this upcoming season. Like, it's not there yet, but it's coming. So, all right. First month, we go 4-5-0. About where we expected to be. Honestly, that's a more realistic expectation for me for this Montreal team. So, yeah, nothing really too surprising. But we're going to simulate up to November 11th. That's where I've got my scouting date set to. And then I'll jump in, do a little more scouting. If you feel it'll be a good year for rookies this year, that is good to see. That's what we like to hear. And, all right, Joshua Waugh is kind of hurting a little bit there. Philip Mazar, we're going to throw in probably on or right near the bottom line there. God, we got a lot of good players. Like, there are genuinely just so many good players on this team. So yeah, it's really just a matter of developing them. I'm really hoping Reinbacher can have a massive year this year down in the AHL. He had 22 points in 72 games last year in Laval, so praying on improvement from that. I think he can do that if he's getting top minutes all year. Lane Hutson's not off to a hot start, which is unfortunate, but he's got lots of time to improve on that still. All right, so let's continue simulating on. And okay, Joshua Waugh was kind of injured. What's going on here? Oh, we lose Caulfield to a sore knee. That's not great. And we lose Nicholas Bodine. And we lose Lane Hudson. Injury. Okay, so if we're going to be that injured, obviously that's going to affect our team's performance. Nick Suzuki is having a year again. I swear to God, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure we set the scoring. Yeah, everything's on medium except for shot frequency. So, like, okay, we got medium trade difficulty on right now, which, you know, maybe was an advantage in the last draft, but we'll see. But yeah, like, what? I can't believe how many assists Suzuki's getting. Like, our team is scoring quite a lot still, but you know, we're pretty much where I expect to be. I did not expect Toronto and Boston to be the two teams below us in our division anyways. Obviously, there's like a bunch of teams below us still. Like, the Vegas Golden Knights, who are third in the Pacific, have less points than us, and we're sixth in the Atlantic. So if there isn't a stark difference in division quality, I think that shows it right there. So anyways, more scouting. Okay, so we can continue simulating on. Obviously, that Caulfield injury is not great, but we'll simulate up to the end of November, get into December, and see how that goes. But we get Lane Hudson back here, which is good. Galley's getting first line minutes right now, which is hilarious, but that's all good. I'm actually quite happy with that. And alright, apart from that, Caulfield should be back fairly soon. Obviously, 18 points in 13 games is sorely missed by our team. But at the same time, the team isn't exactly playing that bad. We're 8-6-1. We're winning games now, and honestly, our team might cruise right into a playoff spot again this year. I wouldn't be surprised if that does happen. So we'll slap Caulfield back in on that top line, and hopefully he can just resume his production exactly where he left off. And yeah, our team is on, what, like a 5-game heater now? 6, 7? Oh my goodness. The Canadiens get rolling. Rolling at the end of November. Oh my goodness. What was that? That was like 2, 4, 6, 8-game heater. That is crazy. And then, of course, we lose to the Red Wings there just at the end. But, wow, that was fabulous. So we'll go up to December now, end of December, and see how this goes. And then we'll probably start losing a bunch of games, but we'll see how it goes. And we are starting to get the player types all in here now because we're doing skill assessments and things like that. So always good to keep an eye on, but you never know exactly who you're going to find, who's going to be great, who's going to be below average or really bad. There's a lot more of the pretty bad right now because we're still waiting on. We haven't done any potential comparison scouting yet, and that's just how my scouting method works. But oh boy, we start losing, and we're losing bad. I don't know if any of you guys saw that or not, but yeah. All right, Joshua Waugh, look at this, 20 points, 23 games. He's playing extremely well. And we do get Nicholas Bodine back, so we'll probably throw him in the lineup over a guy like William Trudeau. And is Reinbacher's up to an 80. Perfect. Love to see that. And not really much else for development here. Sean Farrell's kind of, struggling. 15 points in 30 games is actually pretty solid. Especially for a rookie season. Like, he's doing just fine. This is a smaller line, though, on that third line, so we'll have to watch out for those guys because there is potential cause for injury. 16 and 28 is not bad for Hudson's rookie year, but again, the NHL's big, mean, and physical. And apart from that, not a ton of scoring coming out of the back end, which is kind of expected. Jake Allen's actually got more shutouts than Marc-Andre Fleury, so that is interesting. But yeah, I'm thinking we might be looking at potentially selling here coming up. Depending on, we're sitting second from the bottom in our division now because we've been losing quite a few games. And, we don't even have a bad record. We have a winning record. Ooh, and Xhekaj goes out. That's not great. This is an interesting trade offer. Honestly, Jake Evans for Owen Pickering. How good is Pickering? That's what I want to know. If he's looking somewhat decent, 72, it's not bad. He could play. I don't think he really, he might actually fit quite nicely for the system we're trying to play here, but I'm always interested in big 6'4" defensemen like that. So he's not playing great in Wilkes-Barre right now, but do we want to trade Jake Evans? He's been playing in Montreal. He's gotten 35 games here. Honestly, Evans in a third for Pickering and a fifth is not even that bad, and it's a fifth this year in exchange for a third next year. I'm quite tempted to take this because Pickering's going to be probably a bigger contributor to the team than Evans eventually. Obviously, Jake Evans is still a great pick and everything and has spent his entire career in Montreal, but 1 point every 3 games isn't bad, but isn't great. He's a bottom line player, so I think we're just going to wait on this, but you guys got to let me know by the trade deadline, essentially. So, next episode, do you want to see this trade go through? Because that could potentially be a trade that we seek. And it doesn't look bad at all, so. Okay, and now we're back up. What is this standings, dude? Look at how tight the Atlantic is. Between 2nd and 8th is a 5-point difference. That is insane. You win 2 games and jump 5 spots. Jeez. That's crazy. We're not even a bad team right now. 45 points is pretty solid. But I'm interested to see kind of where do we sit as of... Oh my God, Caulfield. Look at that. He missed 4 games and he's got 58 points in 32 games. That's crazy. He is what's the point production on? It's going to be 1.75 points per game. Something like that. Something very close to that. 32 games. He's 1.81 points per game. Oh my goodness, Cole Caulfield. And then how about Slav? Look at this. He's adding some extra. Well, he's up to an 89 now too. And he's adding some extra X factors here. He's got Relentless and he's got Unstoppable. Relentless and I want to say Unstoppable Force, the 2 new ones that he's just added, which is awesome. So he's going to have an X factor pretty soon. Pacioretty's injured currently. Doc's doing all right. 28 points in 36 games. Not bad at all. Probably around the same pace as last year. He just needs a few more assists. But yeah, if Kirby Doc could play a full season, knock on wood, that would be fabulous. But we'll see what happens with him. Caden Gooley's having a down year, but that is okay. He had 27 points last year, which was actually quite solid. He only played 60 because he does play a very physically punishing game. Xhekaj's still out with injury. And then as far as our goalies go, 16 wins for Fleury. He's got over a 900 save percentage, which is good. And 2.67 goals against is really not bad at all either. Our rookies are contributing solidly. They're obviously not Cole Caulfield, but I don't know if anybody's Cole Caulfield right now. 1.8 points per game. Yeah, like that's wow. That is absolutely, oh my goodness, Cole Caulfield is turning into a monster in this save. This is crazy. And does he have the most goals too? He has the 4th most goals with less games played. That's crazy. Like I actually don't even have words for how good Cole Caulfield is in this save. Like obviously this probably isn't accurate to real life, but oh my goodness. Cole Caulfield, more like point production Caulfield. It's not even goal Caulfield anymore, because yeah, he's not scoring a ton, but he's like scoring a lot still. Suzuki's got more assists than Makar. That's impressive as well. Wow. This team, man. This team is crazy. Hudson's actually right up in the race for the Rookie of the Year. That's awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong, Victor Zaitsev's a great player too. But Lane Hudson, man, he's right there. And he's plus 20, which is a huge difference in as far as him and Zaitsev go. So, best goalies in the league right now are Demko, and then a couple other guys kind of with 18, 19 wins. Most shutouts so far is going to be Eunice Corpusalo. Oh, the stash is deadly there. Cale Makar, 10 points ahead of Erik Karlsson for the defensive lead on point production. That's crazy. And then Caulfield and Suzuki. Again, man, these guys have just started scoring like crazy. So, yeah, this is something else. I haven't seen any player put up, like, just naturally sim a 1.8 points per game. Like, I think last year, 2 years ago, at some point, we had McDavid do, like, almost 2. But yeah, that's crazy. So, we're going to go pretty much to the end of January here. That's where we're going to have to stop up the sim just for a little bit more scouting. And how are we doing down here? Not bad, not bad. Could be better, could be worse. Jet Greaves isn't getting playtime. That's not great, but it is what it is. And yeah, like this top line, man. This top line is dominant. That is the only way I can describe them. Look at this, 88 rated. Alex Newhook, just looking fabulous, putting up well over a point per game right now. He's going to break his points record this year for sure. Unless, of course, we have some kind of unfortunate injury or something like that, because we have had quite a few of those this year. But apart from that, looking quite good down here. I'm very impressed with how the team's playing. I've got no complaints about this team. I am extremely happy where we are. If we lose a couple games here and there, so be it. But yeah, this has been something special here in Montreal, as far as we have these incredibly high production guys on the front end that I haven't seen scoring like that ever, really. Are we going to simulate ahead? Okay, so we simulate our first 2 games. We're still sitting pretty high up there. Keep on going. I don't know why it just doesn't let you watch the sim sometimes, but, we lose to Anaheim. Okay, that's not great. Look at them all. There's another loss. Okay, come on, boys. Okay, we win one there. Oh, we lose Reinbacher to injury. That's not great. And then we lose 2 more, so it's going to plummet us right down the standings. I don't know why I'm doing this as far as looking at the draft class. Cullimore is going to be a gem, supposedly. I mean, yeah, you look at his kind of report as to how that's looking so far. Yeah, there's some pretty decent looking guys in here. I'm actually really quite excited for this draft class coming up, because I do think we're going to be able to snag a couple of really awesome players. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, there's still lots of time left before we're properly looking at the draft and everything else, but as of right now, okay, Reinbacker's back. That's good. You know, we really could be playing David Reinbacher in the NHL at this point. I just don't quite want to yet. Like, yes, he's 80 rated, but he's only 80 rated as well, and we've got other guys that I think are better suited for the NHL currently. So we got David Savard back. We're going to throw him in over Lindstrom there. That'll help. Yeah, the chemistry's nothing crazy. Obviously, we're still waiting on that for a bit. Yes, well, Slavkovsky fits the top line. The rest of these guys don't, and we kind of want those guys fitting the top line better. So that will be a goal for probably this upcoming season once we get one or two more defensemen in here. I think that's pretty much what we're waiting on mainly. And we are up to the scouting date. So 27-19-1 is a good record. We're just in the wild card spot right now. And again, we're only 6 points ahead of the bottom team in our division in the Lightning. So it is very possible that we either make the playoffs and have a crazy good run, or we miss the playoffs by like 1 point and end up barely in the lottery kind of thing. Like it can go so either which way that we'll see. Max Pacioretty was having a dominant season here in Montreal. He was well over a point, well, not well over, but just over a point per game, which is crazy for a 36-year-old. But yeah, he got injured, and I don't know if he's coming back from that necessarily. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. But is Caulfield still top of the league? I would bet that he is. He is not. Wow. Colorado's players just leapfrog. They must have had this like crazy offensive explosion. That's awesome. That's awesome to see the fluctuation in point production like that. It's so cool. Like, it actually adds a lot of realism and enjoyment to the game for me, because then it's like, whoa, these guys can play crazy scoring numbers in this simulation. And it's like, where did that come from? And it's like, well, it came from these guys playing 5 more games than Caulfield kind of thing, right? And Rantanen, wow. How about Makar being second in league scoring as a defenseman? Like that, that's something else. That's something really cool. Zaitsev kind of ran away a little bit there with the Calder lead, but that is all good. And as far as goals go, McKinnon's got 42. I don't think anybody's catching him. He's got 42 in 48 games. Bananas. That is just bonkers. So anyways, I'm just ranting along here, but I'm really enjoying this save so far. I hope you guys are too. I did forget I've got a spreadsheet. You guys have kind of seen glimpses of the spreadsheet, but I like to track both my AHL and NHL team ratings on the spreadsheet, so that's why we're just checking the AHL team ratings here. They're pretty balanced, actually. I'm kind of surprised with how balanced they are. But yeah, man, I am super impressed with this team so far. I did not think we were going to be doing this good this early with Montreal, and we are. Like, we've got to be sitting where? Like 10th place in the league, probably. Maybe 12th. Yet we're like 5th in our division. Yeah, we're 12th, so kind of called that. But yeah, we're 12th place, and like we might not make the playoffs. That's a very real possibility. But look at where Calgary's fallen to. That's awesome. So that Calgary pick kind of eliminates the danger of us not getting Gabriel Daigle, which is awesome. But there is this other guy here in Cullimore who I wasn't even considering initially, as far as I didn't think he was going to be the player we go for or pursue. But like, when he's got gem potential or gem rating as an offensive defenseman, why wouldn't we go for a guy like that? Like, I'm actually seriously considering getting Joffrey Cullimore and then still finding a way to go get Gabriel Daigle too, because that's just what I'm wanting to do in this upcoming draft. Yes, they're both top end kind of picks still, but apart from that, like, I mean, we'll see as the potential start to come through here. But we've got a little bit more simulation. I've got to do another set of scouting here where we're going to start to get the potential comparison. And then once that starts to come through, that'll help determine more so where our draft setup is going to be, which is exciting. All right, so we're done the scouting as far as up until the end of the season, but we are only going to go up until the trade deadline. So we're going to finish off the month of January here. There's only a couple more games left, and we'll see how that goes as far as if we win, if we lose, somewhere in between, if we're moving up or down the standings. And looks like loss, win, and we get Caden Gooley back. That's awesome. Oh, I guess he wasn't properly injured. And all right, another win. So we're sitting right in the middle of our division there, 61 points. To be fair, we have played 51 games as well. So we could catch teams like Ottawa, but we could also be caught by teams like Boston or Buffalo. So let's see. I'm just going to simulate up 1 week, see how the rest of these games go, because that's going to change the standings a little bit. Looks like neither Boston nor Buffalo played in that week. I guess that's kind of the week of Christmas break. Or no, that's February. Never mind. I have no idea why there's no games there. Okay, so let's simulate through to the end of February and then see if we continue to move up or down the standings. Looks like up is probably the trajectory here, that's fine by me. It actually helps our team development. And all right, we lose there to Florida, but we're winning the majority of our games here, and then we lose a couple in a row. We get Max Pacioretty back. That's exciting. He will swap out for Christian Dvorak, and Dvorak can fall onto the second line kind of role there. And I think what we'll do is we'll go Yolanen over, we'll go Farrell down, go Dvorak over, and then Patches back in. That looks really good to me. We don't have any negatives. And how's Fleury looking? Fleury's looking good, man. I don't think we're going to be selling too much here. I think we're going to be holding on to a lot of these guys now, just as far as this team looks good. So, all right. We are definitely not at April yet, but we are at the end of February, and we are sitting right on the fringe there, right in the wild card kind of position. Have been other teams that have caught us since. Colorado's just dominant, but extremely good simulation so far from our team. 80 points in just 56 games for Cole Caulfield is awesome. Obviously, it's not a 1.8 points per game pace like he was on there for a little while, but it's still extremely good. He's on pace for over 100 points again this season. And Slav is actually looking like he could potentially he is breaking the point per game pace, and he could potentially be pushing 100 points at some point. So that's looking extremely good. I'm super happy with the team's performance here. And Fleury's playing well now, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, 28 out of 49 isn't great, but it's still pretty darn good. And yeah, Caulfield and Suzuki just tailing the big three there in Colorado, really. I mean, you could argue Landeskog, but no, Rantanen's one of the big three. They got 3 franchise players on their team. That's what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do against Colorado when they got 3 franchise players like that on their team? You're gonna lose to them, is what you're gonna do. But Kaprizov at franchise potential. That's an interesting one. Malkin and Crosby's still kicking. Same with Ovechkin. That's crazy. How about Slavkovsky outscoring Connor Bedard? What? That is something special. I mean, not goal-wise, but he's getting lots of assists here, which is awesome to see. He's a very good passer, 95 passing. I'm actually surprised his shot hasn't taken off as much, but that is okay. And yeah, Bedard's doing okay in Chicago. Obviously, it's only his second season, so he's 19. He's 91 rated, so Chicago fans can't really complain about that too much. I'm sure the Blackhawks aren't. Yeah, they're not in a playoff position right now. And how are the Flames doing? Flames are sitting nice and not rock bottom, but bottom 5. So that could potentially create opportunity for us to trade down in the draft, which would be awesome. I'm really enjoying how this save is going. Like normally saves, like if I kind of just sit back, relax, kind of nonchalantly play it, it'll go really good sometimes. Most of the time it won't. I'm kind of just sitting back, letting the simulation do its thing, and things are turning out quite nicely for us right now. Like, look at this. Calgary's 29th in the league. Over 62 games, so they could potentially be bottom 3, bottom 2 here in just a couple days. And then, yeah, we're sitting 7th place right now, which is amazing. We finished, what, 9th place last year? Projecting to be higher than that this year, or projecting, I guess. Projecting's a word, isn't it? I think it is. Projecting. Projecting is like predicting the trajectory, I guess. We're starting to get some potentials in here. So Tursunbayev is going to be amazing. He's going to be a Patrick Kane-esque kind of player. But I'm looking at these other guys that I don't know yet, and I'm interested to see how their potentials kind of fall out here. I mean, we'll see. Like, there's going to be lots of potential still coming in. Ruben Bois, look at that. There's a low elite at pick 37. That's awesome. Anybody else? Anybody else that we might be interested in? Maybe Skylar Benn if he's a gem. We'll see. Top 6 grinder and Morgan Sakic at pick 80. Not bad. Got a couple gems, got a couple busts. You know, we're working our way through. I'm interested in that Paddock guy too. We'll see if he turns out, because he's got 2-bar elite, which could mean he's bottom 6 or could mean he's elite, somewhere in between those two potentials. So we shall see. Carson Hickey's not looking horrible. There's a just random steal of a gem. Andrew Staubitz, low elite at 177. We've got him ranked as high as 94. Not bad. Obviously, we're still waiting on lots of potential here. Obviously, these potentials haven't come through fully yet, but we got a couple steals already. We will be picking those guys again. Why wouldn't we? We've got the full scouting report. We know what their potential is. And yeah, we're down in the 250s there now, so we're probably not gonna have too many other picks really kind of show up in that span, but I believe we are coming up to the trade deadline here. We've got the 6th is the trade deadline, so we'll go up until that date, or just the day before. Simulate these last 2 games against LA and Calgary, which we should win both of them because those are 2 bottom feeder teams, and we do indeed. So with that schedule kind of in, actually LA's not even bottom feeder necessarily, they're just 61 points. But we're 37, 24, and 1 right now. That is an extremely good record. So, what do you guys think? Are we... I don't think we're selling, to be completely honest with you. I think we are extremely well off in the position we're in. We've got Calgary's pick from the Monahan trade, I believe. Yeah, there's just nothing else to it. Our team is rocking and rolling right now. And we've got 3 players there that are just phenomenal potential. A bunch more on the way. Caswell's up to a 73 from 62 rated. That is fabulous. Pronger hasn't grown quite as drastically. He's only 70 rated. But for our previous 2 out of our 3 first-round picks there, I'm quite happy with where those guys are at. Maxime Massey's up to a 76. Let's go. What a season he's having right now. He's already broken his points record from last year. And for 20th overall pick, that's a steal. Absolutely a steal all day long. So, wow. I am quite happy. Quite happy. That's all I can say. Let's see. Did we get any crazy goalie growth? Not really. Okay, so 54, 52. Those guys are pretty bottom tier overall for goaltending, but the potential's all there still. So yeah, Callanan and Mayer might potentially be trade pieces. If anything, I would say we're probably holding on to Theo Meyer or Mayer. Is it Maher? I'm not saying Maher. It's Meyer. But he's had more shutouts, more wins, more games played. To be fair, though, Callanan is playing in the KHL, And he's got 16 wins, a 2.48 goals against average, and a 914 save percentage. That's pretty phenomenal. I think he's going to actually see the most growth out of those two goalies, so I don't really want to trade any of that. I want to just hold on to what we got. And quote Bon Jovi. But yeah, this is looking good. We're a buyer team that has a potential first-round pick at a future superstar goalie. We are just playing the system right now. I love it. So let's keep on going here. I mean, we're going to keep on going next episode more so, because I think this is where we are going to cut it for now. Get a little excited and stumble across my words every now and then. But yeah, we've got crazy good scouting reports coming up. We've got at least a few steals for this upcoming draft, which is awesome to see as well. I don't pin too many players normally, but when I do, it's because I'm looking at them like, this guy's going to be good. There's no question about it. They're going to be good. So right now we've got, 2, 4, 6 picks pinned out. We might have more by the end of the next episode, but we'll see. We're definitely going to make the playoffs at this point unless our team tanks like a 20-game losing streak, which would be something special as well. If we manage to lose all 20 games for the rest of the season, then so help me God, this team deserves to miss the playoffs, but I really don't think that that's a likelihood in any way, shape, or form. So that's where we're at. That's where the team is. That's where the draft class is. We're rolling. We're rocking. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below, because we've got the trade deadline coming up. We might be looking at potential moves, but really, I don't see us finding any trades here. I think everything is going according to plan. The process is absolutely working in Montreal, and I'm excited. I am genuinely excited for young guys like Maxime Massey to get into this team, for guys like Andrei Solnishkin to be grinding it away on like the third line or maybe second line eventually even. Clark Caswell is going to be a phenomenal playmaker once he actually gets to the league. That's going to take a little bit more time, but again, he's producing at a crazy high point rate. This year, he's over a point per game, which is awesome for a later first-round pick. The only reservations I have on this entire team right now is still on the defense, just because we haven't seen as great development down there. And of course, we did trade away Justin Barron, which probably was a mistake the more and more I think about it. But at the same time, we can draft more defensemen. We can draft some really good guys in the future. And one of those guys is probably going to be Cullimore. But that is going to be it for this one, guys. Make sure to hit that comment box. Of course, like the video if you enjoyed it, and feel free to subscribe if you haven't yet. But that is it for this one. I will see you guys all in the next one.